Throughout the short time the internet has lived and evolved, there have been many creepy and disturbing entities surfacing the web, each with their own oddly charismatic and dark ambience surrounding them. Today, we are covering one of Trevor Henderson's most unnerving creatures, Mr. Mascot, also known as Costume Man. So, who is Mr. Mascot? The only sighting of Mr. Mascot happened on October 14th, 2018, when an unidentified individual stumbled upon an obscure event while driving down a road. The person, in the face of such an incomprehensible situation, decided to take a quick picture as testimony to later prove his sanity. What he saw, the cops would have not believed. It was the sight of an empty costume staring soullessly at the individual in question. This mascot seems to resemble an alien with blue fur and two cutesy antennas at the top of its head. Mr. Mascot, which is what later it was addressed as, was carrying around a body. Whether or not the person being dragged was alive is out of the question, as he is lying limp, covered in blood that could only belong to his person. Soon after the image surfaced, it landed on the hands of Trevor, who investigated the origins of the entity in the costume, and with unknown means found the following. They say he died inside the suit, and they didn't find him for days after. The humidity, it made the body, well, it was really difficult performing an autopsy, let's just say that. So, what we are dealing with is a ghost trapped inside the animatronic. I mean, trapped inside a mascot. A couple of questions come to mind. 1. How did Mr. Mascot die? 2. Why is it carrying a body around? And 3. What is its destination? We're gonna attempt to answer all three of these with the evidence provided to us. First, we must identify the possible causes of death for Mr. Mascot. It was stated that he died inside the suit. How could this be? Well, by looking at the suit, we can tell it gets very hot inside. The fur covering the area is enough to trap a lot of heat inside. This costume is enough to make any Disney employee pale in dread. The most likely reason as to the man's death is via heat stroke. Keep in mind that in most mascot suits, the temperature can reach up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. A lot of suits come equipped with countermeasures for this, by adding small fans and cooling vents, but the temperature still reaches a dangerous degree. The thing here is that this mascot does not look familiar, therefore it has to come from a small business. Oh, and this mascot is around 15 to 20 feet in height. It would be extremely difficult to operate, even if you were 7 feet tall. Not only that, but the fact that the mouthpiece is located in the 10 feet mark is enough to let us understand that whoever wears this thing won't be breathing nor seeing very well. We can only conclude that this suit was not intended to be worn. The way I see it, Mr. Mascot must have been a very naughty and curious employee. He must have had a closing shift on a holiday. In this scenario, the store would have to remain closed for a short period. It would be a perfect time which gave him the opportunity to try out the suit. Once worn, he must have had a tough time moving around. This was followed by an increase in sweating. At this point, he must have attempted removing the suit, but couldn't find a way to. This is when he began to panic. Not only could he not see because the mouth was so high up, but the increase in rise in temperature has started clouding his mind. A heat stroke had set in. Common symptoms of a heat stroke are confusion, agitation, delirium, rapid breathing, nausea, vomiting, and much more. The poor man must have had quite the frenzy before he died. That is how it most likely went down. Now, why is it carrying that body around? This can only be answered with a psychological hypothesis I just came up with. Wait, while I am no renowned professor, nor have any kind of psychological degree, I am confident in this psychology simply because I have experienced it myself and those around me. Be aware that just because I haven't found this online, doesn't mean someone hasn't wrote a thesis on it yet. When you are looking for a specific object, let it be a screwdriver or a bolt, you tend to take a hold of similar objects despite knowing that they are not something you need. But because you find them almost identical, you still take it with you because they might still prove useful, yet it is not the object you need. The psychology behind this is quite simple, and I've seen it in many people. This psychology links very closely behind the psychology of hoarding, which is when people hoard many items inside their homes because they possess an attachment and they think the stuff they have might come up useful. I'll be attempting a poll test with you guys soon to find out whether or not it is a common occurrence. In the meantime, let's use this hypothesis to find out more about Mr. Mascot. He is holding a body that can't be his. Why? Because after an autopsy, you don't put their bloody clothes back on. Also, there is little Mr. Mascot can do when it comes to getting inside the hospital to collect the body, especially with that height. Yet, he is still holding it. Could it be because perhaps the body looks similar to his? Mr. Mascot might be holding someone's body while looking for his. The similarity between the two will help him identify his own. It is a common belief that when you die with deep regret, you lose a significant amount of memory, which in turn makes you wander the earth looking for anything keeping you there. I believe that to be the reason for his behavior and his objective. He is simply looking for the body that is rightfully his, while comparing and dragging anyone who looks similar. You must really be feeling empty inside without your body, huh, Mr. Mascot? Pun totally not intended. Well, that is my explanation to what we have witnessed. Do you disagree with this theory? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, make sure that if you're a tall guy, you stay away from Mr. Mascot. Otherwise, you'll be dragged across the pavement. This was Mr. Mascot. Make sure to subscribe. It means a lot to me. This video was sponsored by you. Thanks for watching the ads. Make sure to add Trevor and myself on social media and follow our Discord. Today's phrase was chosen by The Crow. I hope you guys have seen The Crow. It's a really cool film. Well, here it comes. It's not the suit that makes the man, but it's good too.